Just sit tight and it'll all be over, and who knows, I might not just ruin that pretty face of yours for that little stunt. Oh boy. You think I'm pretty? Alrighty. Welcome back, any and everybody. This is Leonardo here to do another episode of Kingsguard. Pretty excited to see how this starts, or continues really. We only got through the first episode last time, our first 20 minutes, so we're going to just jump right in. Running away from our not a brother guard person who's supposed to bring us back to some party we don't want to attend. And he wouldn't catch us this time. He stared right back at you with wide eyes, looking far more concerned than furious. Oh, because we just jumped and didn't die, thankfully. If it wasn't for the crowd's constant cheers, you probably could have heard him berating you for such a dangerous stunt, though you'll likely hear it face to face with him later. Before he became aware that the two of you are still in a game of cat and mouse, you continued moving, fleeing out of the Colosseum and into the city streets. Gotta keep one jump ahead. That's still what I think of. Leaving the arena behind, you wandered the main streets of your city, Havana. I like the music for me, but just in case it's harder to edit down later, I'll keep it a little bit lower. But I do like the sound effects, it's cool. Every road was amassed with people, carts, and animals all weaving around each other to make their way to their own set destination. Let me also put the timer on, as always. Forgot it. This was the busiest district of the city, as well as the most hectic time of day. Not even a mouse could weave themselves through this endlessly shifting maze without getting stepped on. You glanced behind your shoulder and caught sight of Leandros rushing out of the Colosseum, his entire body shifting around frantically. You ducked behind a cart and watched him from a distance. He shut his eyes, though in concentration, and lifted his nose up. Despite the scents in the air being filled with the sweet foods, savory spices, and pungent smoke and perfumes, and other not-so-pleasant scents, he still rotated like a compass until he was facing you and then opened his eyes. That's impressive. How does he always know where I am? Beastmen always had sensitive noses, but this was ridiculous. He was a cat, not a dog. Still, it would do him little good if he couldn't actually catch you. Between the two of you was such a large crowd, and a man of his size and stature wearing that armor would have difficult. Between the two of you was such a large crowd, and a man of his size and stature wearing that armor would have difficulty trying to push his way through. Linnaeus, stop running! Stop running! Leandros pushed his way forward, apologizing the entire way as he wiggled through the mass of people and scampered out of the way of his horse-drawn carts. Some actually moved and gave him passage, but most stood their ground and sneered. You ducked low, hoping to lose sight of him, and waltzed through the crowd until you managed to squeeze your way out of the mob streets and into the deserted alleyways. Left, then right once more. Without thought of direction or knowledge of location, you just kept moving, winding through another maze this time, built of brick and mortar. The passageway echoed with your ragged breaths and clack of your shoes almost as loudly as the pounding of your heart in your ears. Leandros' voice was but whispers now, but even with the distance that you gained, you knew it would do little to stop him. When it came to a game of cat and mouse, he could go on for days without breaking a sweat, while you would be panting on the floor completely tuckered out. With as often as he chased you down, you should have gained more stamina, but even now you were ready to take a breather. But you had to keep moving, to keep pushing yourself until your feet were sore and shoes worn down. Bet he'll think twice before dropping his guard again. I suppose Father will just have to go on without... You smacked headfirst into the back of what appeared to be a large man. The soft surface gave away, sinking your face into it ever so slightly before you were slung backwards. Jeez, that kind of scared me. It didn't hurt much, and your nose didn't appear to be broken, but your tongue was a bit swollen now from nearly biting it off from the sudden halt. Ouch. The man you bumped into grumbled aloud, clearly not amused. Oi, which of you bozos thought it was funny to whack me from behind, eh? The heavy figure twisted around, nose twitching and dark beady eyes peering down at you menacingly. Huh? He seemed to be a mouse beastman, Or maybe a rat? It was sometimes hard to tell exactly when it came to differentiating beastmen of similar species. But you knew exactly just how dangerous it was to mistake them for another. It was always in your best interest to remain silent about such matters. Just like calling another a nasty name, it was the same here, and calling a beastman as the wrong species could easily lead to a life-threatening rumble with an enraged beastman. I'll keep that in mind.
So, you's the little mousy who did this, huh?
Mousy? His condescending tone as he called you a mouse made you believe that he might have been a rat after all. Oh. He leaned in to have a better look at you, and his lips parted into a toothy smile. Something didn't sit right with you about that smile. He clearly wasn't someone you wanted to mess with. He towered above you, with broad shoulders and sizable arms, and a large gut that peeked out from under his clothes. He took a quick puff from the cigar in his hands and blew a small cloud of smoke out through his teeth.
Well, look at what we have here, boys. Another little mousie's come out to play.
You took a step back from that stout man as ominous chuckles bounced off the alley walls, and heavy footfalls from all directions followed after. Uh-oh. From behind the rat, a pair of shadows stuttered forth. It sounds like they're about to start dancing, West Side Story style. And out of the corner of your eye, you spotted even more forms closing in from behind you. In a matter of seconds, you were surrounded by a group of disheveled and roughish rat beastmen. You looked around for a way to escape, but all exits were sealed off by the rats. Slumped near a wall was a man, clearly passed out. He looked to be a noble, though the bruised face, ruffled hair, and dingy clothes said he might have been down on his luck, possibly from a run-in with the very same gang you were now flanked by.
You's lost, little mousy. Need help finding your way home?
Your attention was pulled away from the man and back to the cigar-smoking rat, whose smile only widened at your new discovery. He likely was the aggressor of this poor man, evident by the smudging of blood on his knuckles. And seeing how compliant the others were, giving him quite a berth of space, you figured he was the leader as well. It seemed as though you were in the wrong place at the wrong time, and now that you had discovered some kind of shakedown, it was unlikely they were going to let you pass by without some sort of trouble. You steeled yourself for what was about to happen as guys like these preyed upon the weak, and you weren't about to wind up like the man on the ground. No, I'm quite fine. Was just on a bit of a stroll but now I'll take my leave. As you tried to take another step back, the rat nodded once, and you heard the rat's master step forward. You gritted your teeth and glared at the rat, whose wily smile told you there was no escape.
You sure? You's got the looks of someone who's maybe in a bit of a bind. But I'm a generous man. Like one of those, saints or a priest. I help those in need. Of course, even churches have their tithes, and my help doesn't come for free just the same.
The way the others laughed in unison made you question if they were a pack of hyenas in disguise. Thank you for the offer, but... cough, cough. Yeah. Thank you for the offer, but really, I just need to make my way through here and... A deep exhale of cigar smoke from the rat's mouth was all he needed to silence you. He simply smiled and watched as you coughed heavily, suffering as the smog invaded your lungs and stung your eyes.
Now, no need to be shy, little mousy. We all need a little help now and again. And it just so happens to be you's lucky day that you's ran into me.
Somehow you felt that his vision of being lucky was different from yours as you glanced at the man again.
Oh, worried about him? Oh, well, ain't that cute. You see, we just got finished cleaning a bit of rabble in this city. This here part of the city is quite dangerous, especially for a little mousy. Why, he was acting so high and mighty, saying all the wrong things. He even had the audacity to call us mice. Mice of all things.
Ugh, do need some of that water.
It was real to think someone like that should be roaming the streets. Oh, we did using the city a favor here. Of course, there's still plenty of monsters lurking around in the shadows, so it ain't safe for yous to be going alone. So I'll tell yous what, for the low price of 10 gold, I'll guide yous out of here. And don't worry if yous don't have it on yous person at the moment. We take installments too, with interest, of course. Me and my boys will see you safe to the ends of this here alley, and right to the door if you's comfortable. Safe little home. Now, how's that sound?
I really am good.
You'd best think your words carefully.
Well, you could have easily paid this obvious shakedown with a coin in your purse. Your real worry was actually taking it out. Money was no object to you, being the prince, so you always went out to the streets loaded with coins on the off chance you didn't have enough change on you. Father would never let you buy something yourself, so you had to take it upon yourself to see what wondrous items the markets and merchants had to offer. You shuddered to think of what these greedy thieves would do if they found out how much coin you were currently carrying. You cursed yourself for not betting it all away on those fights earlier.
So, what's it gonna be, eh?
Oh shoot, what? Oh, reach for your weapon.
Little mousy.
Well, I'm never looking for trouble. That's what my mama told me.
Reach for your weapon.
Oh boy. I mean, if I have more money, I have more money to give him. I mean, I mean, who doesn't like a good action sequence? But look, I'll just give him the money. Even if he notices that I have a little bit more on me, then he can have the rest, and I'll be on my way. We don't have to interact with him ever again, and I can make up some cockamamie lie that the reason I have so much is because it's my life savings or something, or my dearly departed parents' dying gift. They probably will still take it anyway, but it might leave them to not hassle me anymore in the future if they happen to come across me again. Just pay him the money. I'm a compliant person. Money was of no concern to you. If you gave them the coin, then maybe you could pass without any more difficulties. All right, I'll pay.
You've made the right choice there, little mousy. Wouldn't want anything bad to happen to you on the way home now, would we?
You reached for the purse at your side and loosened it from your belt, its hefty weight a grim reminder to never carry this much coin again. Even before you had opened the bag, you could see the beastman's face beaming with glee. Uh-oh. His eyes went wide and mouth slack. At least subtly try to pretend you don't have this much money. With that kind of expression, this was likely more money than he'd ever seen in his entire life.
Now, where did a little mouser like yours get so much money?
See, lie. Just say you're saving up. The rat wiped at the corner of his mouth where a bit of drool was slightly leaking out.
It's a good thing you came to us, because it would be a shame if something bad happened to all this coin. Now, be a good little mousy and toss it here.
Toss, you say? Just as the rat's grubby hands were about to reach forth, you flung the bag high into the air.
What?
The coins flew free from their cloth cage and pelted down on the street in a golden rainstorm of riches. The street sparkled like the sun, and all around you, the rat's ears twitched at the glorious sound, entirely entranced by the gold. With the rats distracted, you made your escape, turning on your heels and running back the way you came.
Ah, you son of a...
You could feel the grubby claws of the leader of his gang and crooks swipe as he tried to reach you, but all he grabbed was air. Whew. There were even more rats from behind you, but you didn't have time to think. You had only seconds to take advantage of your distraction. 2 rats blocked the path ahead of you, but you could tell they were clearly eyeing the coin you had dropped and wondering whether to stop you or grab a handful of the gold for themselves.
Ah, forget the coin, you bozos! Don't let them get away!
The boss's words were enough to snap the 2 out of their daze, and their eyes locked onto you. What? Just take the coin, dang it! But despite the ample warning, their pudgy bodies were slow and their arms short and stubby. You picked up speed and got down low, hopping to slide your way between the 2 of them, hoping to slide.
Gah!
They might have been idiots, but it seemed that luck was on their side. You thought they would have swiped at you with their stumpy arms. You guessed wrong. Once the henchman leapt forward, his belly shaking like jelly and mouth agape in doubt as his entire body slammed you into the cobblestones, trapping you under the weight of 200 pounds of fat, muscle, and fur.
Oh. Oi, boss, I got him! Good, keep him there. Don't let him squirm out.
Try too hard. You struggled under the rat, but it was clear that he was far too heavy for you to move. His partner quickly joined in, increasing the weight on your body and nearly knocking the wind out of you.
Oh, that's it, boys. Show them what happens when you try to run from us.
Several more rats joined in on your capture, holding your legs down and pressing you further into the hard cobblestone pavement. You could barely breathe as you were pressed into the ground. Desperately, you tried to move, but their collective weight was too much.
Get the ropes and tie 'em up. We've got a lively little mousey here.
You kicked with your legs, desperate to connect with someone as a rope coiled around your ankles and bound them together. Oh, shoot.
Help!
A dingy rag was plunged into your mouth and tied around your head, cutting off your cry for help. Despite the danger you were in, you were still slightly concerned where it had been, and wished they had at least used a clean one. Oh.
Now, no yelling. Let's use our indoor voices. No need to shout when we're all within earshot. Well, what are you three still doing standing around for? Go keep watch. I don't want no one sniffing around in here. Yes, sir. And yous, pick up that gold he dropped. I don't want a single coin left behind. Well, right away.
The rats scurried about to follow their leader's orders while your pleas remained muffled by the gag. Uh-oh.
Should have just listened to us. Then we wouldn't been needing to give you the extra special treatment. Just sit tight and it'll all be over, and who knows, I might not just ruin that pretty face of yours for that little stunt.
Oh boy. You think I'm pretty? You turned your head to meet the gaze of the boss, who took another puff from his cigar and let the ashes fall down on your face. Ugh. He seemed so pleased with his position, but you knew he would have it coming. Leandros would soon be here to beat the crap out of this damn rat, and then he'd be sent into the dungeon for the rest of his miserable life, if he even deserved that. You just wondered what was taking the cat so long. Yeah, even I was kind of anticipating Leandros to kind of, show up here and all that. You continued to squirm, hoping to wiggle your way out of your restraints, but all you gained were rope burns. The rope was pulled taut one last time, and you could feel your limbs beginning to grow cold and numb. Oh, shoot.
Okay, boss. He ain't going nowhere now. Good. Now frisk him. I want to know what else he's got hiding under that cloak.
At the boss's request, the rat began their search, tearing off your cloak and kneading their hands into your body, hoping to find any other riches hidden on you. His dirty, sharp, cracked claws kneaded into you eagerly, causing you to wince in pain. Ow. You tried to kick with both of your feet to get the bandit away, but you had to admit they had you completely restrained.
You know, it ain't good for you's health to keep struggling like that. Here it causes gray hairs.
You turned up to face the rat once more and wished he was closer so you could spit in his face.
Just let me and my boys do their job, alright? No sense in trying to fight it, 'cause you ain't getting out of them ropes. Besides, with all that coin you scattered, I bet you's got gold coming out your ears, don't ya? Probably pretty heavy to be carrying all that. You should be thanking us for lightening your load. Hey, boss, I think I might have found something. Yeah? Give it here.
You only caught a glimpse, but you recognized the gold gleam insignia on the medallion that the lackey handed to his boss. Uh-oh. It was an item of utmost importance. The insignia of the Yasan royal family. Only those born with royal blood would ever have the honor of holding one. That an individual's hand selected personally by the king as trustworthy allies were ever granted one. Other than Leandros, your personal tutor, Maestro Correo, the king's council, and your father himself were of the few people in the kingdom who carried one. What's this mean again? Oh, that's it. Oops. Wait, how do I do that? History. When presented to the right people, a whole world of privileges opens up before you. But to any commoner, it was viewed as another shiny object that could be pawned off for an exorbitant fee.
Well, now, what have we here?
The rat's eyes went wide as he examined the gold signet in his hand.
And how did a little mousey like yourself get your hands on something like this, eh?
The large rat knelt down and gripped your chin, forcing you to look into his greedy eyes.
So there's more than meets the eye with this little mousey, ain't there? What do you mean, boss?
The rat let the pendant drop from his palm and dangle by its gold chain, reflecting your disheveled hair, dirt-smudged face, and livid expression off of its glossy surface.
Done quite a bit of shakedowns through the years and only ever come across this once. Though it was just some pretty bandit at first and pawned it off. Thought it was just some pretty bandit at first and pawned it off for some quick coin. Of course, after I sold it, I found out just how rare it really was. You see only highborns carrying these around, and not just any nobles. We're talking royals, those with connections to the big house. Not just anyone is given one. So, boss, then what's it worth? What's it worth? What's it worth? Oh, you can't put a price on something this valuable. But boss, I thought you said you sold it. Idiot! Idiots! There will be a king. Oh, whoops. Oh, were you even listening to what I said? I told him that we'd be continuing this next time. Oh, Kingsguard. I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna have to leave this on a cliffhanger. Sorry, folks. Things got kind of serious. We kind of ended up running with the wrong crowd by accident. But, hopefully we'll continue this very soon. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, this story is gonna get intriguing. I wonder why Leandros isn't coming to our save. Maybe he's just off to the side laughing at us, saying this is what we deserve. But geez, we'll have to figure out how we get out of this little scrap next time, like I said. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you liked it. Having a lot of fun with this one. I'm gonna need some water after this one. But thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys have a good day, a good night, a good evening, whatever it is for you. And yeah, thanks again. Bye now. Take care.